Ladies and gentlemen, hello, hello, and welcome to a very special episode of Sherm in the Booth. My name is Sherm. You guys are some true Chicagoans for coming out in January. It's snowing outside, it's freezing, and you're at the fucking club at 1 a.m.
Boys with the bass, yeah, boys, bass.
Who am I talking to right now? You're famous.
Free food, free drinks, music, girls. Let's go.
Do you like it? Cool. You don't? Goodbye.
I'm missing the most important part.
Boys with the bass, yeah.
We should throw like a crazy bar mitzvah party.
This is crazy. Send me stems. I finished it.
What's up, guys? How's everyone doing?
Just wait, you know it kicks in like 3 to 5 seconds afterward.
Yo, what's good, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Sherm in the Booth. I'm, of course, your host, Sherm, and this is episode 227? Whoa, okay, I just kind of realized that. We are chugging right along. But, baby, we are in it today, and we have a truly awesome episode for you. And it's featuring one of the hottest DJ producers in the game, who goes by the name of GUDFELLA. Kyle is a wildly talented guy, and his past 365 days have been insane. We got it all in this episode and had so much fun discussing things like his journey as a producer, SoundCloud's role in his growth, collaborating with Tiesto, and what lies ahead in his near and distant future. He might be a young gun, but man, I'm telling you, he's got a really genuine passion for music, and you can tell he's here to have a blast and make an impact all at the same time. Kyle, much love, brother, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Let's get into it right now so you can hear his story for yourselves. This is episode 227 with GUDFELLA. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome to Sherm in the Booth. I'm here with my guy, GUDFELLA. Kyle, it is so good to have you on the show, man. How are you?
Amazing, man. Good to be on the show. Good to chop it up. I'm excited.
Yeah, bro. Like I said right before we went live, I've been a fan of you for so long. The Levity Boys told me about you years ago, or I think I actually saw one of your SoundCloud edits sometime like maybe 2 years ago. I can't even remember which one. You're the king of fucking SoundCloud, by the way. Like, I ran back through your edits today. Dude, SoundCloud is not dead. It never died. It just changed its audience. And, I mean, you've got so many stories that have come to fruition now. Like, I mean, Everybody Wants to Rule the World track started on SoundCloud. And right. I think that's the beauty of it. We could do a whole episode on SoundCloud. But for the DJs, that's where we go find our music, I feel like, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, my favorite edits that I play still are SoundCloud finds, you know? Like,
yep.
Like of course, you got, like, the sick, like, Beatport top 100 tracks and stuff. Sure. But, like, I think the real gold is still SoundCloud edits all the way.
Yeah, baby.
Where do people post, like, viral TikTok edits? SoundCloud. So
SoundCloud.
Literally.
That's so true. And there's a lot of artists in this generation that are like you and I that, I mean, for me, I started off as a fan, like so many, right? Like my first show was Avicii in 2011 in a field in Bloomington, Indiana, right after we released Levels, right?
Yeah, so, that's crazy.
I know. I'm honestly blessed to have had that experience. But I became a fiend for live sets, you know, going to festivals. I would like exclusively work out to live sets. Like I would literally sit and try and find a live set on SoundCloud for like sometimes 30 minutes when I had an hour to work out. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? It's got to be a good set though. But
yeah.
That's where it all started on SoundCloud for me. And there's been a lot of ups and downs with it over the past like decade, but I feel like it's in a really, really special place right now where producers get to truly be themselves. And, you know, the copyright thing, we've all kind of figured it out. I mean, hood politics, we've dropped so much shit on there over the years.
Yeah.
And it's always humbling when we meet producers and they're like, dude, I drop a hood poly edit every fucking set.
I mean, I'm one of them, man. Like I've been playing the Everybody one, like the Fred Again
edit Shift remix. Yeah.
Right. And then recently I actually didn't know this was hood politics until about a week ago, but I've been playing it for a minute.
Yeah.
It's like the Move For Me edit.
Oh yeah, Laws, LAWZ.
Yeah, Laws, the Cascade one.
Yes, dude.
That
Laws.
one's heat, man.
Dude, I'll send you a single that we signed coming up, and he gave us another edit too.
Mhm.
And God, I love that shit, man. That's like the most special part about the label to me is, you make music trying to be original in who you are. And sometimes it can be hard to find a label or find a home for it. And self-releasing is its own sort of, issue these days, so to speak. But when you have artists like Laws that like have had success on SoundCloud and they're like, damn, well, but Politics does really well on SoundCloud. Why don't we just collaborate? Like, why would I release this on my own? I want to be a part of the family. So it's so exciting when people like that come to us and are like, I want to give this to Hood Poly. We're like, fuck.
I agree, man. I think I got a couple in the pipeline that I would love to give to Hood Poly. That's another conversation.
Please, bro.
Yeah.
No questions asked. Susan will not even listen to it. It'll just say signed.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Speaking of DJ Susan, bro, Sweet Melody, Goodfella, and DJ Susan, man. I remember when he told me he was going to the studio with you in LA, and that was the first time you guys met in person, right?
Yeah, it was. So actually, like, since we were both from San Diego, right? Like,
Right.
I started doing the whole music thing in San Diego, so I'd known who Susan was just through that.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's probably just because I didn't know him, but like I was hella intimidated just going into that session.
I get it.
I was like, holy shit, it's Susan. Like I've been listening to this guy ripping his edits for like years.
Yeah.
And now we're in the studio together. I don't know how he's gonna be in real life, like blah blah blah. And then homeboy walks in the studio, biggest smile on his face. He's like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" And then like after that, I'm like, okay, I'm so good. Like this is gonna be a fire session.
Right. And you literally made that track that day.
That's correct. We made it. I think we made the rough in about 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
And other than that, it was mostly just like a mix and master thing. Like the track was, some sessions are just like that, where you like everything flows and then everything hits all at once. And then that night you have a song that you can play out type thing.
What does that say about energy, man? I feel like that's something that people talk about, but it's another thing to really feel and be a part of, especially when it comes to collaborating in person in the studio.
Mm-hmm. I think it just says that Susan and I were kind of just on the same wave the whole time. Like I think the first 30 or 40 minutes we didn't even touch Ableton. We were just chopping it up.
Of course.
Just talking about life and then being from San Diego and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think once we got comfortable with each other, which was like really quick. We were just like, let's go, let's make something.
Yeah.
Like no plan. Let's just do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you just let that energy carry you and you'll end up with something pretty crazy.
So true, man. Sometimes you just got to go with the flow. He's taught me that in many different ways. And, like for a long time, I didn't collab with people in person just because I don't think I was collaborating with the right people in person because, either it's almost like when you go to college and you room with your best friend. I didn't do that, right? But my roommate was someone who I knew, but then we became best friends. And then I knew other people that were best friends and then they hated each other, right? And I feel like it's so similar in the studio where it's like when you meet somebody new who you're inspired by, like you, like DJ Susan, magic just fucking happens.
Right. And I think I've been really, really trying to carry that philosophy with like a lot of the people I've worked with since then.
Mm-hmm.
And like, just taking the first 30 minutes to an hour to really just get to know them as a person, because like a lot of the people that you work with over the internet, like, each other on Instagram, but you don't know them.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different person when you meet them in real life. So I always like to take the time of the session to just get to know people at first. Kind of break the ice and stuff, because I have had some sessions where the ice wasn't broken the entire time. And I felt like I was just on like, I was just walking, I was tippy-toeing around.
You weren't yourself. You were not yourself.
Exactly. But yeah, I think ever since that session, I just try to make a better effort to get comfortable in the first hour so that the session just like carries itself.
That's great advice, man, honestly, because there's a lot of young producers that listen to the show. And I think what's been really cool since COVID is collaborations have been just so frequent in the best possible way. People in
Mhm.
different genres, artists from all over the world. Like I just released a track with a guy who lives in Istanbul, Turkey, right? Halil Sensei.
No way.
He was sending us demos for a long time and we just got in touch through the internet. But then it's like it's hard sometimes to get past that internet relationship, like you mentioned. But
Mhm.
I just feel like the rules are like everybody knows there's no rules anymore in house music, especially, right? Like we try and help each other grow, we try and help each other blow up, and we're there to support each other when one wins, and we're there to remember the ones that were there in the beginning when it all goes well, you know?
Mhm. Agreed. Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
like,
it's so exciting these days.
yeah. I mean, like, dude, like seeing the homies win is like
Yeah.
one of my favorite things to like watch, you know? I've been super like fortunate to be like surrounded by like people who are like also like doing this stuff and like doing fairly well. And it's like when I see my boy get like be playing at ultra to like 100,000 people, I'm like, let's fucking go, dude. Like fires me up. It makes me want to level up as well.
For sure.
It's very motivating, honestly.
It is. It is. It's very motivating. And you were originally born in the Philippines though, and then you moved to San Diego?
Correct. So I was born in the Philippines and then I actually moved to Orange County first. And I say I'm from I technically grew up there, but I say I'm from San Diego because I didn't listen to electronic music or even want to touch it until I got there. That's when I started doing cross and like
Oh my God.
all the LED cross events at the baseball stadium and stuff. And that's like really, really where I like fell in love with house music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You're a fan first too.
fan first, man. Yeah, I think I saw Fatboy Slim at the Palm stage at Cross. I think that was the set where I'm like, okay, like I don't want to do anything else besides house music. Like,
Yeah.
that's how fun this can be, and that's what I've been chasing for a minute.
Oh my God, bro. I love that you said that because I've pretty much the same exact fucking story. I went to Crossed. Always loved electronic music, but like I said, you know, I grew up in the progressive house into the fucking Yellow Claw, Skrillex, heyday.
Right.
And then we went to San Diego because one of my good friends lived there and Cross was the same weekend. So we're like, let's go. Like I knew Claptone and MK. I got fucking educated at Crossed, bro. Like educated in like 2017 or 2018. I can't remember. But this was like Mala was playing a 45-minute set on the city steps. Rez played after him, you know? So this was like, I got to see these artists that I knew and also didn't know. And it's really incredible, like the energy of Crossed as well, you know, just like the Waterfront Park and San Diego.
Oh yeah.
But San Diego, I would say it's definitely become a lot more popular and well known with like the dance music scene there. But even in the past, you know, like maybe 3-4 years ago, or maybe before the pandemic, like it was a hidden gem. And the scene there is just so special, bro.
Oh yeah. Man, I think I find like, especially with like Cross, I think like my closest comparison to that would be like the Arcs and the Day Trips, and, like, you know, they have that in San Diego, which is like it's still a major city, but it's a smaller major city.
Yeah.
And having that kind of like house and techno outlet where you have all those people from Europe coming and like all the big house guys like twice a year, like it does a lot to help the scene, man. Like
for sure.
I like San Diego is all house and techno, which is insane.
It is all house and techno, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, and I always, it's not that I don't like referring to the pandemic sometimes. We just can never stop talking about it because it did just change the entire foundation of dance music. But these days, right, like Art came in 2021. And if you think about the influence that a Cross and an Arc have on these major cities that are very American, while they still have rich histories of music, especially in Chicago, it gets younger people into the music and more exposed to that, which is good for people like you and I who are on the rise in house music when it was very difficult to become well known as a house music producer because it was a really small swimming pool, right? Now it's huge and some people think that's a problem. But, you know, if you look at the example of your collaboration with Tiesto, bro, like I always say, you know, David Guetta's Jack Back project is fucking great for house music. Like
Mm-hmm.
Alesso dropping Tech House on the main stage at Ultra is fucking great for house
Yeah.
music because that gives people like us a chance to have our music heard in front of the biggest stages in the world when 5-10 years ago, that would have never fucking happened. So
Right.
like the commercialization of house music, I am team fuck yes. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but like it's
I am as
awesome.
well, dude. Because and I think you put it perfectly because the commercialization of stuff means that a lot of people with like a normal ear, like not like a refined ear, but like
Mhm.
a casual, you know.
Yep.
It's,
The average citizen, I call him. I know exactly what you mean.
exactly. Like you get house music to them that's easily digestible. Like
Mhm.
you have like people by the hundreds and thousands just casually come into house festivals and stuff. And
Right?
like I feel like that's great, you know? Like people are
Mhm.
buying tickets. Like that means people are buying tickets to shows.
Yeah,
And in
that's
the
all it
long
is.
run, like if you're an artist, you want as many people to come to your shows as possible. And like the fact that that's happening in like the house scene is like I think it's like so huge. Like I
Yeah.
think it's really people be like, oh, it's like against what the culture was about because like you know the underground is like that's where all the cool stuff is. But
Yeah.
no, I think you were on the nose with that take. I was just talking to my friend Layson about the commercialization of house music and stuff too, and you basically said exactly what I tried to say.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a good thing, man. And you know, I'm glad you mentioned like the underground scene. That's what I love most actually about dance music as a whole is all of the subgenres within the genre, bro. Like UKG, drum and bass, like those are all like under the house umbrella, like so to speak, whatever, you know, elitists can yell at me in the comments,
Yeah.
whatever. But you know, like there are still really, really healthy scenes, like a festival like Movement Detroit. That is a place that you can get fucking educated, right? Like they book Skrillex. I saw Diplo there, but they're also booking like Charlotte DeWitt, Carl Cox, like
Right.
insane techno artists. And you see a lot of young people going to those things, right? But it's still like that's very underground. People don't talk about movement the way they talk about Lollapalooza.
Oh,
So it's not like the commercialization has like completely drowned out the underground. In fact, I think it's created a lot more creativity, created a lot more creativity.
yeah.
It's true though. Like I feel like the talent, especially like, you know, just Miami, for example, space, bro, right? That place is fucking out of this world. And they're just dropping minimal heat the whole fucking time. You want to talk about underground? That place is still fucking owned by Insomniac and they book insane artists. But there are
hmm
artists like you and I and DJ Susan when he played there, right? Like I've never seen him rip a set like that, bro. And it was one of the
Yeah.
best sets I've ever seen him play. So these big artists still pay homage to the underground through all these different subcultures and just underground collectives and stuff. So
hmm
that's why I think the scene is in a really healthy place because there's so much overlap and collaboration and cross pollination, which is going to be good in the long term because dance music in America is just like going like this, and I don't see it slowing down or even plateauing.
Oh, not at all. I think it's honestly just with the addition of like TikTok and like reels and stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
how the stuff can get mega viral.
Yeah.
Um, it's like I talk to my like people like who booked me in college, right? And I always ask them, what's the taste here? Because you
Mm-hmm.
play college sometimes like they're not there yet when it comes to
That's true.
like the taste. So you obviously gotta rip some like mainstream edits and stuff like that
Of course.
to keep the people happy. Because at the end of the day, you got to keep your audience happy wherever you're playing.
You got a job to do.
But these kids are listening to like
Mm-hmm.
Pasa,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm like,
know. That's what I'm
I
saying.
wish, like, I wish I had that taste at your age. You know what I mean? Like, it took me years to start liking that stuff, and then
Same.
these kids like sophomore, juniors in high school are listening to like Michael Beebe, Pasa, Dennis Cruz. And I'm like, dude, like you guys are educated, man. Like you
That's
guys are,
right. They come up and
yeah,
they request Clooney, and you're like, you guys know fucking Clooney?
yeah, exactly.
Dude, that's fucking so true. And like I played this gig was a few years ago in Wrigley Village, Chicago, right? Where it's like mainstream. This is like one of the only places that plays like dance music. And somebody comes up and puts Chris Lorenzo on their forehead. And I'm like, let's fucking go. No one's
Yeah,
ever requested Chris Lorenzo like to me in general, you know. So it's funny, like my brother actually introduced me to Mala years ago, right? And like when he came out with Notorious, and that's when I knew that like the tides are shifting because he's 3 years younger than me, right? So I think he was 19 or 20 at this point, and I was 20, 24, right? Still into the stuff that I was mentioning earlier. And I was like, damn, this shit is fucking dope. But I think as much as the older generation plays a large role in the influence of the younger generation, it's equally as important for us to listen to what the younger generations are wanting to hear. Because to go back to it, man, you know, I'm a businessman. Like, we got to sell tickets, bro, if we want to be a successful artist.
Right.
So, you know, there's two sides to that coin, right? You said like the mega virality, right? Like, I mean, I don't think there's any denying that you have had a very quick come up, a well-deserved and talented come up, but things have happened really fast for you. Like, how has it been just like dealing with things the past year and, you know, going from playing colleges and just being a producer from San Diego to Lollapalooza to the collaborations, Jaws remix, DJ Susan collabs? Like, that's amazing, dude, but it's a lot to deal with.
Yeah. So, I mean, at first, I mean, I dealt like the first few months of that, like everybody wants to rule the world in particular, going crazy. I still had like massive imposter syndrome because, I mean, you go from like only your friends and your parents sharing your stuff to people asking you to come to Brazil. So that was really weird for me at first, and it's honestly like still really weird for me. Like in Miami, I had a few times where people would see me out in the street, and like I still don't know how to act when it comes to that, because like
it's awesome though, man.
Yeah, it's a really good thing to be experiencing. But I think now it's just you know, like remembering who has been there since the start. Because once you like find success as an artist in any genre, really, like people are going to want to latch onto that as much as they can. And I think for me is just like knowing who my real friends are and who have like my best interests truly has been a challenge, but it's been like very much worth it, because I had a moment with like my friends at Factory Town this past weekend, and we all just like remembered being at Music Week last year, and you know, like having to sneak into Factory Town and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
And we just had a moment where like, yeah, like we're really doing this like together right now, and that was really cool. So to answer your question, it's been sick, but I've been dealing with it slowly, and I feel like I've been getting better at it every day.
That's great, man. And I love your response. It is so important to always go back to the people that were there before. And I love that you mentioned your parents too. You know, your support system is your foundation. Like, you gotta have a good foundation of who you are, because it's really easy to like just forget who you are and like just lose that sense because everyone else is saying their opinion of you, especially if it's like really good, and that can last a very short period of time, right?
Yeah.
But if you remain true to who you are and you surround yourself with those people, then sky's the limit, man. You know, like you can do so much more than what's even being offered to you at this point, right? Like somebody asked me recently, they're like, what are your goals? Like, do you want to play Lollapalooza? Do you want to play EDC? I was like, of course I do, but I'm trying to think bigger than that. I'm trying to think, what can I create that's new, that can impact the industry, the world as a whole? Like, and I don't know what that looks like, to be honest, right? I'm still trying to figure that out. But as cliche as it is to say, it is about the journey, bro. And I love your response. Like, you just gotta like take it in stride and appreciate the moments. Like, that's 1 year, Kyle, right? Like, that's it. I don't even get the concept of a fucking year anymore, bro. Like, is it long? Is it short? But all I know is a lot can happen. That's for sure.
That's true. That is very true. And honestly, dude, like I feel like I'm feeling more confident than I ever been.
Good.
Just with the music stuff. Just because, you know, that long gap in between releasing that the big one with Tiesto, just getting that cleared and stuff. Like I was, you know, in the studio just planning for the years ahead because I know it takes like a minute to get all those set up. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I got to send you a folder soon of all the new stuff, man, because it's gonna be some fire stuff.
Fuck yes, dude. I mean, honestly, that's what I love to hear because the A craze story or a craze for those that want to say
Mhm.
it correctly comes up all the time. I think Do It To It really was a cornerstone track for dance music. And
Mhm.
I actually got to meet Charlie at the No Redemption show. And
Mhm.
he had a great podcast with Will Clark where he talked about it. It's really hard to follow up that hit, even if you've had a history like you do, you know? I think that's probably what's so exciting for people that discover you is there's a lot more to listen to than just
Mhm.
the track. But it's hard to follow that up. Especially was I talked to your manager as well. He kind of gave me the highlights of like getting everything cleared for Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Like it went like through, and it probably went faster than most. But can you just like can
Mhm.
you give us some spark notes on how that happened? Because there's a lot of things you have to do in order to get something like that released on Spotify.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I mean, so it started off with like that. What I posted a TikTok first, and it was me playing it live at Sound, right?
Mhm.
And I think that night it got like 100,000 views in like a night, and I woke up
Yeah.
and immediately I texted the boys, Nico and Sway.
Shout
I'm
out.
like, yeah, shout out them, love those guys. But I texted them immediately, like, guys, we have something here. Um, but the thing with my TikTok is that it was show audio, so it was all muffled and shit.
Mhm.
You couldn't really do much with it as a sound. So the guys posted a video with the sound, and so that sound that they posted was the one that got picked up by like FC Barcelona and like yeah,
I
Formula
did
One,
not know that. That's sick.
dude. The like the whole European soccer thing when all those clubs picked it up, I was like, geez, like
I'm a huge soccer fan, so this is sick as fuck.
yeah. So that started happening. I think in the middle of that, Tiesto DMs the guys. He's like, yo, like, send me the project.
So casual.
We're not gonna say no. It's Tiesto. Or like, yeah, dude, please, like, please have it. So another month goes by. We released a song on SoundCloud in like July.
Mhm.
I believe it was later that month or the next month, but Tomorrowland happened in Belgium.
Yep.
And my label was just watching the stream. Thrive. They were watching the stream in their office, right?
Mhm.
And we just get this video in the chat. It's like, bruh. The head of A&R in all caps, bruh.
Yeah.
And it was Tiesto playing it live at Tomorrowland, and it was the version that got cleared.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're like, oh my god, like this is crazy, this is insane. And then Tiesto was like, guys, whenever you guys get this song cleared, let me know. This will be like the festival version, like the Tiesto
Yeah.
kicker, you know.
Right.
Long story short, we didn't get it cleared at first. So we tried our hardest to like get the pub cleared and stuff. We offered like we tried to get like a re-sing on it. No, like just no one really budged, and we're like, damn, like I guess it'll just live as a SoundCloud edit. A week or two goes by, Tiesto DMs us again. He's like, yo, just wanted to see an update. What's going on? And we give it to him. We're like, hey, I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah.
Might just stay SoundCloud. Sorry, bro. And then him and his team is just like, hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Let us get involved. Like we'll figure something out.
Mhm.
That process lasts 3 months, and that was just like a back and forth between because I don't know if you knew this already, but like Tears doesn't own their catalog anymore.
They
They
don't?
sold it like a bunch of money like years ago. So it was purely just us and label talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that
After
helps.
3 months, we ended up getting it cleared as a collab with Tears on it,
Right.
which is probably the best case scenario you could get for a song like that.
Yes.
With Tiesto, and then we all debuted it together at the LA Historic Park show. So it took like, granted, it took way sooner than most, but it felt like forever.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
once you have a song like that in the pipeline, you can't really pivot anywhere else. You know what I mean? Like, we were riding that wave for about 3.5 months until we locked in a release date. So I'm just thankful because we could have walked away with nothing, right?
Definitely.
Right. We could have just walked away with nothing, but honestly, like Tiesto and Bo, that team just really, really like made it happen. And you know, it was a life-changing track for me. Like, I'm touring and stuff now. Like, that track kind of got me my agent as well.
Cool.
They were watching, but I think once that track came out, they were like, okay,
He's ready.
let's do it. But that's basically the story, man. Yeah, it was a lot of ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it happened, and I'm just very grateful for that.
Well, you know, it's fucking a wild story, but what's so cool about it is where it came from and how it started. Like, obviously, Nico and Sway have been in the game for a minute, but that you guys made an edit of that track too. And I know they were doing kind of a series of like these, you know, 90s synth pop or 80s synth pop like remixes and stuff. And there was a lot of build up to this track that got his attention for all the right reasons. So props to you guys for doing it all, literally, you know, like obviously only Tiesto could probably pull off the Tears for Fears official release.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is it all came together in a beautiful way. And it is a really special track, man. Like, I really fucking mean that. Like, it makes me feel something. I play it every single set. I love the original song like so much. Like, it's a song that I heard growing up. My mom loved Tears for Fears, and I just love like that synth pop era. So yeah, props to you guys, man. Major respect. And again, like, anything's fucking possible, dude. Anything is fucking possible.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's funny you say your mom put you onto that too, because my mom, of all people, was freaking out the most because she grew up listening to like the new wave, like Tears, Depeche Mode,
Of course.
like all those people, right? And when she found out that it was going to be a collab with them, she's like, "Are you going to get to meet them? Like, do I get to meet them?" Fortunately, it hasn't happened yet, but I think down the road it can happen. But yeah, I was happy for them, most importantly, just because, like, you know, that's a song that means a lot to like everybody in the fam. So yeah, I think that was the coolest part.
What do they think about this whole DJ life, man? Like, you going on tour and stuff? Like, I mean, you've been doing it, of course, but I mean, the DJ world for parents is still pretty unknown. You know, like my mom has gotten into it over the years, but she still doesn't fully understand it. But is happy? I'm happy, you know.
Yeah. I mean, they obviously had their doubts in the beginning, as every parent would.
Yeah.
But I think as I've started to get busier and like the money has been good and like you know, I've been able to take care of myself for the past like year, just off of that. I think they've grown to love it, and they've grown to just embrace it as something that I love to do. They put me in school for engineering, actually. And the big thing for them is that like we're paying a lot of money for you to go to school.
Yeah.
So you better be majoring in something that makes money. So that was my like biggest stress for a while, is like making them proud, because I did take a big risk leaving my full-time like engineering job, choosing to go wait tables to pursue music.
Wow.
And I think at the end of the day, they just want to see me happy and they just want to see me thrive. And in the beginning of doing anything, especially music, like, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
Which I did.
Of course.
But, you know, like, things are good now. I've been bringing them to festivals. Funny enough, I brought my parents to their first Insomniac festival at Countdown.
Oh my
for
God,
New Year's, right? And I was an early set.
Yeah.
And to attend those festivals as like a first time raver, it's kind of a lot to take in, right? It's like, you know, people are like people are on one. Like people's
Wearing-
outfits are
wearing
crazy.
no clothes, yeah.
Yeah, we're no clothes. Like the music is like house music is. I'd say that's probably the easiest genre to get into as like a casual listener.
Yeah.
But at these festivals, you got like dubstep, you got D&B, like the harder stuff that people might not always embrace. And like my my dad like ended up at a sudden death set for some reason. And he was like, and I was like, dude, dad, like that's too much even for me. And he's like, no, I love the beats. It was sick. And they made it all day. And I think they like left like right after the ball drop. And I'm like, I was expecting them to leave right after the set. So
Yeah.
I think they're definitely enjoying it. They're starting to get into the dance culture, which I love to see. Just because like the funniest thing about that, they're like, okay, so when's your next festival we're going to? Or like when are you play again? Because we're going.
Dude, it's awesome.
But yeah, I think they're making their festival return at Hard. So if anyone's at Hard, look out for my dad fella because they'll be there.
Where did the name Goodfella come from, by the way?
Okay, so Chance the Rapper, right?
Shout out Chicago, baby. Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he has that song "No Problem" opens up with "You don't want zero problems, big fella." I think I was in my dorm room my freshman year, and I think I was like half asleep. I have like a lot of trouble sleeping, but I like say things out loud to myself half asleep sometimes just to like remind myself what I'm doing the next day.
Yeah.
For some reason, that song was like in my head, and I was half asleep, and that line came in my head, but I said it wrong. I said, "You don't want zero problems, good fella." Just like I was half asleep, and then once I heard that, I like sat up. I'm like, that's kind of a really cool name.
Yeah, it is.
If I switch one letter around, you know,
it is, yeah.
The double O's and the U in there instead. And so I think that next week I like started the SoundCloud and artist named Goodfella. And it just you know I just kept it from there.
It is very much you. Now that I've gotten to know you better, like you are a good fella, bro. Like straight up, you know, because there's like the Italian mob movie Goodfellas,
Right.
You know, this is the way you spell it, like, you know, the good vibrations, slander, nightmare stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, it's a really good plan where it's I love that it just kind of came to you.
Yeah. I mean, like people always think it's actually from the movie, but I've never seen the movie. It makes a lot of people laugh when I say that because like apparently it's one of the best mob movies ever.
You should watch it. I'm sure I'm not the only person who said that as well, but
yeah. I should definitely watch it. I just started watching The Sopranos.
Oh, brother, my God, that show changed my life.
Yeah, and like I don't know, just like mob stuff has just been very interesting to me in terms of just watching stuff. So
are you in the house?
I'm sure I'll be watching that soon.
Dude, Sopranos is fucking great. I lived by myself for a year before I moved in with my wife when my old roommate left. And I was like, I'm living alone. I'm going to get a record player and I'm going to watch the fucking Sopranos. And I did both of those things and I'm a better person for it.
Right. Dude, speaking of living on your own, I just moved into this pad right here.
Sick.
And like, let me tell you, like having my own spot and like investing money into making it like a sanctuary has been like such a joy for me. Like
great.
That's what I've been doing when I'm home. It's just working on my room. And that's been like, dude, especially like staying in Miami for a week, like that first sleep in my own bed, man. Oh my God. Dude. Like I don't think I've slept harder than that.
Dude, when you live alone, you realize you're like, am I this fucking dirty? Like, who's eating all this food? Like, why is the trash full again? And you're like, God damn it, it's fucking me here. But it is living alone is awesome. I loved it. It just gives you a real sense of responsibility. And like sometimes I would literally like staying on a Friday night, I would clean the fuck out of my apartment. I would turn every single light on and I would just walk. It wasn't that big of a place, but I would just like walk around and be like, yeah, this is my place. That's right. I've done it.
Yeah, I'm actually about to do all my laundry from all my bags,
Oh Jesus.
like right after this call type thing. And like, I think I'm just gonna do a deep clean with all the trash and stuff in here. There's a lot of yerba mate cans and a bunch of cups from when I left it in Miami. So
Oh man,
gonna
bro,
need to
those
do that.
yerbas, those fucking get you going.
Oh man, yeah. It's like I think my caffeine addiction is definitely something I need to chill on. Because I'm up to 2 yerbas a day now.
Oh
Uh,
shit, that's a lot, Kyle.
yeah,
That's a lot.
it is a lot. But yeah, man, those like get your palms sweating for sure.
Oh, dude, my pits are sweating. My fucking behind my knees are sweating when I do that shit. I go piss like 6 times the first hour, and I'm like, woo! It's like
Yeah.
I stopped pre-workout a long time ago. I have an interesting relationship with caffeine as well. I think the whole world does, though. Honestly,
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah,
oh, I don't drink coffee, and I'm like, well, you drink 7 Diet Cokes today, and they're like, well,
yeah. I forget those are caffeinated too.
that's the thing, bro. Like, we don't even know what's caffeinated sometimes. We just like, I mean, the espresso martini trend, like that's the best or the best. I'm like addicted, but
I love a good espresso martini. I do need to I do have to watch myself when I'm out though because I can't like those get out of hand real quick. Just because they're so yummy, man. Like I love coffee and like
yeah, I know.
alcohol and coffee is a recipe for heinousness.
You need to come out with us one time. We always do a one touch teeny. Have you heard of this before?
No.
I don't know who started this, but there's some social media account. And you basically just one touch an espresso martini, so you just fucking chug it. It's an absolutely psycho thing to do. Very Midwest. But at my wedding, actually, I made my wife and I do one touch teenies like when we were toasting to everybody. And then everyone was like, oh, they have espresso martinis here. And there was 100 espresso martinis. Literally, they were gone in 30 minutes. And I was like,
Oh man.
bunch of fucking addicts here.
Yeah. I mean that reception, like just hearing that must have been lit.
It was lit. It was a fucking party, bro. Like we were in this place called Chicago Athletic Association on Michigan Ave. It's a really, really cool old place. DJ Susan was there, Diaz was there, and one of my buddies who's a really great DJ, he brought in a Void like rig, like huge, bro. Like it was shaking the fucking floors. And we were fucking raging. I think it started at the reception was from 8:30 to 11:30, just 3 hours of partying. And then of course we had an after party at a rooftop where we kept DJing. But yeah, people are like, dude, I think I lost hearing that night. I'm like, yeah, but was it sick?
That's good.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, it was honestly the fucking sickest reception ever. I'm like, we threw out glow
That's tight.
sticks.
That's tight. It must be convenient, like having a wedding and like being a DJ yourself and like just having a bunch of DJ friends.
Dude, that was the last thing that I worried about. Yeah, we got the family and friends discount on the speakers. So many DJs were there. Jake Shore was there. So many people from the music industry. I like put them all together like in the corner, and I was like, "You guys just be loud over here. Just don't talk while there's speeches going on."
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man.
You know how we roll, bro. So I have one question I want to ask you. You clearly love rap music, bro. Because I mean, you just mentioned like Chance the Rapper and GUDFELLA. Who is your favorite rapper?
Oh man, that's a good one because I think for me, like Drake really changed, or like Drake was a really big part of my taste until about freshman sophomore year in college. Like I saw, like one of my first concerts ever was Drake Summer 16.
Sick.
And just hearing like the pop rap stuff has just been like so sick.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, Baby Keem has just been on my playlist nonstop.
Dude, he's
I love JID or JID.
Yes. God, I was literally about to say that, bro. Saw him for the first time at Lollapalooza last year, and it was raining. There was a storm. Everything got delayed, and we got in time for JID, and there was a fucking rainbow over the lake during his set. And I was like,
oh, that's so cool.
Fucking damn, bro. Like,
yeah.
When people say rap is dead, they're just not listening to the right rap.
Yeah, exactly. I've been listening to actually I wasn't a big Shoreline Mafia guy growing up, but like Fad Disco Line has been putting me on to like a bunch of their stuff.
Yeah.
And like OGZ and like all those people I've been like slowly starting to, because like I'm way behind on that shit. So like I'm just like now discovering their discography, and that's been fun.
Yep.
So the Shoreline and like Suicide Boys and stuff like that are the people that like I'm way late on.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to appreciate that, but I don't know, man. Like just rap and house music, are a match made in heaven. I think. Like
so true.
Yeah, especially
very
like
versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your Family Ties at it. I mean, I think Lose the Child, they played that at some massive, they played all the time, but somebody, Austin Mills, played it at Coachella.
That's right. That's right.
That's so dope. I mean, when you're, so like from a production standpoint, do you just pick a song you love, or do you look at BPM, or do you think about like how you're going to cut it up when you're going to turn it into a dance music song?
Dude, so I always think of just, so to answer your question, I think live experience is where my head's at with making those edits.
Yeah. What's going to hit?
Just because, with the Baby Keem one, especially is like the trumpets, like the ba ba ba, like when I hear that at a bar, I'm like, let's go. Like, you know, I'm like pushing my friend, I'm like hopping around. So my mindset with that is like, if you hear that at a house show and you got like the 4x4 beats under that, like,
yeah,
that's gonna be a time. Right now I actually sampled an Amy Winehouse track that I don't know if you heard on my story. But I was just like, I think after this, I'm going to be finishing that. But I think once that's cool, like it goes like slow, like it gets into like the whole like swing, like ballroom feeling of like that noir kind of sound that she has. And then it goes back into like the 4x4. And I think that's where you see like a bunch of people like Pasa and like Fallon is like a guy I've been really enjoying.
Yeah.
It's like those people who like set the scene for the dance floor, you know what I mean? And like just sampling tracks that like fit the dance floor super well.
Yeah.
And that, I think when I make edits like that, that's where it is. It's like a live room and like the big speakers and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's all about like creating moments when it comes to at least a live set. I mean, that I think I've thought a lot about like, because I love so many different types of music, and these days you can fucking turn anything to dance music, which like goes back to the collaboration aspect I mentioned in the beginning. Like, there's no fucking rules. I mean, I literally have a Frank Sinatra like 133 BPM edit of his song called Chicago, right? And I was like, oh, fucking flip Frank Sinatra, you know? And that's actually like people's, even not from Chicago, like I really fucking like that Frank Sinatra edit. Yeah, I'm like, I know, dude. Like sometimes I go with a song that I really like, but I also realize that it can create a moment, you know, like who doesn't want to, like, especially when you're in Chicago, it's like Chicago, that's Island town. Susan sings it all the time. I'm like, that's not the right words, but he's got the tune. But I'm a big Travis Scott fan, so I flipped like 3 Travis Scott fans, right? Which
man,
always fucking hits. So
shout out to Votley, man. Like that fiend edit that he made that made its rounds everywhere.
Yeah, dude.
Like that's what I'm talking about. Like, Fiend on its own is already such like a banger, and like translating into dance is just like so smart on his part. And it's like a lot of the stuff is like sample selection too. So it's like and that is like half the battle.
So true. And that's when things can become a little tedious. Like I had a producer on recently, Propa. I'm not sure if you've heard of him before.
Oh man, yeah.
Propa. He has all these Propa treatments, right? And he's been producing for like 15 years, right? And I was asking him, I was like, dude, sometimes I sit down and I'm like, want to be creative and it just doesn't come to me. He's like, that's called aimless production. And he's like, what you need to do is just like start with these remixes and edits and find the part of the song that like makes you go, yes. And then just take those aspects and just start kind of chopping them up and like add stuff, delete it, like bring it back, like throw it in the fucking graveyard at the end of the track and maybe start another track within the track. And that's when I like started to find a lot of inspiration, when I didn't feel like I had to sit down and make a track, because it's really hard to fucking do that, bro. Like
it is.
Being creative is like almost, you like procrastinate almost, because like I don't know, it just doesn't come to everybody. So especially with house music, it seems like it should be so easy, right? Like you just create these loops. But that's the thing is everybody can fucking do that. So what's gonna make it different? And that's where I think all of this really cool ingenuity is coming from, especially in like the UKG world. Or
Dude,
like
the UKG world is like the top of the
gangster.
top when it comes to edits, dude. Like
Exactly,
I
bro. Yeah.
I remember like there's this UKG song called it was like a UKG flip of Kung Fu Fighting. Like it was Kung Fu Fight.
That's so
A song that should not go off, right? like it's a joke song. And then I heard it, I'm like, dude, like unfortunately this is insane. Like but yeah, man, like I think like especially like the world of UKG is so insane to me because like those guys can truly turn anything into UKG and it would hit. Which is why I have so much respect for like Propa and like Opidin and like all those people. Because yeah, man, UKG is just so fun.
It's so sick, man. And it's really interesting too. Like there's so much talent in Europe. But you know, the whole visa issue that they all face, right? Like interesting story is like somebody like Troy Boy, right? He's like British, but he can't even DJ in England because they don't like his music, but he fucking crushes it in the US. So when a guy like that comes to the US and becomes friends with all of these like house and tech house producers, right? Like, I don't know about you, bro, but like I can't do sudden death. I agree with you. Like that's a little too much for me, but like I can get down with some dirty shit sometimes, right? And I get inspired by that, bro. Like, and that makes me think differently about my lane. And that's when like these just crazy edits come because I love this because I love DJing and performing so much. Like to create those moments. Like I just posted earlier today. You might have heard it when I played it at the Hood Poly party, but it's Blink-182, All the Small Things, and it goes into
I did hear that.
EDM o'clock, right? So it's like I get to sing with the crowd and like they're having a moment. They don't know everybody, but they're singing this song together, and then it's like, fuck, what is about to happen right now, right? And then I just fucking whack-a-mole them, and they're like, ah, right? Like that's the greatest thing. That's the greatest thing. And when you can combine and fuse these genres together through edits or through creating new genres, even of that. It's just the fucking best, man.
It is, and it, like especially with the edits, that's another thing that I think brings like a lot of the casual listeners in.
Oh yeah,
just because like obviously a lot of house songs don't have like words, and you know, like a lot of casual listeners want to be singing along to something.
True.
Yeah, I think that's where like a lot of the edits win over a lot of casual fans in my experience playing them, which is also another good thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, American popular music, not even American, just like popular music, right? I don't think the average citizen, so to speak, is aware that the Diplos, the Axwells, the Chamis are the ones producing the Lady Gaga albums, you know?
Right.
Like, Dua Lipa productions, right? Like SG Lewis has his fingerprints all over that shit. So when they get a little bit more of a spotlight on them and people understand like, oh shit, man, it's all dance music. Like what I love is actually dance music. But if we stripped all the vocals from those songs and just put a typical tech house loop on there, they'd be like, fuck this. So it's like, you have to find that fine line of like a really solid instrumental combined with like a good vocal that's unique and raw and original to make a beautiful composition, which is like the goal that we all try and achieve as a producer, of course.
I agree. I also love, especially that whole wave last year of like Drake hopping on an album with Black Coffee and like
gotta love that,
and Beyonce with her whole album and stuff. Like I loved that. You know,
me too. I literally I started as an open format DJ and liked Beyonce and then played too much Beyonce. And I was like, I can't do Beyonce anymore. And then she came out with Break My Soul. I was like, I'm back on Beyonce.
Yeah.
But those are the days, man. Fuck, bro. Dude, this has been so much fun. What can you tell the listeners about what's coming up? I know you just announced a tour.
That's correct. So I'll be joining along with my other dates just on my own. I'll be joining Jaws on tour. We're playing together in Philly, Dallas, Denver, and SF. So that'll be fun. Festival wise, Lala, Hard Summer, Breakaways,
Woo!
Club Glow. Not Club Glow, Project Glow.
Yeah.
I'm excited for those, man, because I think other than Countdown, really, I haven't really had a taste of the major festivals yet. So I'm excited to be experiencing those for the first time. Excited to just be making music, putting obviously I just announced that song with Susan that's coming out on the 5th.
Yep.
I think maybe by the time this podcast is out, it'll already be out.
Yep. Right after.
Right. So it'll be out by the time this is out. So that's gonna be fun. I got some collabs coming out that you guys will see soon. Some songs that I think people have definitely been wanting for a minute will be coming out within the next few months. And we're never gonna stop on the whole SoundCloud thing. And I have a bunch of sick SoundCloud edits coming out. I have a really cool one with the Chicago-based guy, Tress Mortimer, actually.
The boy.
Yeah. Fajita Man. Yeah, we have a cool one coming out soon. I think we're just working on getting more footage for that. But yeah, I'm excited, man. Just keeping the train going.
Fuck yes, brother. That's awesome, man. Love your motivation, love your energy. You deserve everything coming your way. And I only saw you play Miami, but even just that little snippet, man, you're a great performer, great DJ. I know you also brought the Miami vibe, so well done on like some of the underground vibes. But I've seen clips of you performing at these large shows, and you're born for this, man. Like these people are gonna fucking love you, and you have great music and just a great energy to you. So I'm really proud of you, man. You fucking deserve this shit.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for having me on. I've been watching this podcast for a minute, so it's cool to finally be on it and pop it up.
Of course, bro. I mean, after I had the Levity Boys on, they were just gassing you up the whole time. And it's crazy just to close out on them because I know we fucking love them. Like, talk about people that deserve it as well and that we love to see them having success. Like, when I interviewed them sometime maybe a year and a half ago, you just know sometimes with people, right? Like, just not only the quality of music and how good of DJs they are, but like energy. Like we started off, man, like you just connect with people and you just hope and wish the best for them. And when it does happen, however soon or far, it's just a great feeling. And like, there's nothing better than seeing people like that win and you win and Susan win. And it's just, I don't know, man, it makes life really fulfilling.
I agree, man. Yeah. It's just, surrounding myself with great people and cheering them on. I think that's my favorite part about the whole music, the music journey. It's because you don't have to do it alone, which is the coolest part. Yeah.
You don't.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my guy, you got some laundry to do. You got a track to finish, and it looks like you got to floss your teeth too.
Yep. I've been I had a little bite to eat right before this, and I was just now figuring out that I missed some spots, but
I was like, I was about to be like, you're welcome to floss on the podcast if you need to, you know?
Yeah, I'll save it for after.
Okay, all right. I'm glad you take good care of your teeth. It's important to floss, everybody.
Oh yeah, huge. It's huge part of success.
You cannot go on tour unless you're flossing. Actually, that's not fucking true. People don't take good care of their teeth. Please take good care of your teeth out there.
Yeah. Whitening toothpaste twice a day at least.
Yep.
You go.
Oh, Dr. Goodfella, you say?
Yep. Yeah, I was almost a path, but I didn't want to fall too close to the parents because my parents are both nurses, so I didn't want to
really
follow too close. Yeah.
Oh, my dad was a doctor. My mom was a nurse too. So I know what that's all about. That's funny, actually, that I asked all those questions without knowing that they were that. Because those are the people that are like, what the fuck is DJing? Like,
exactly.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, you do have some dope parents, man. I'm glad you got a good support system, though.
Yeah. They're awesome. Shout out mom and dad. They'll probably be watching this. They'll probably follow you afterwards because every person.
So.
Yeah. Every person I work with, my mom just becomes an instant fan of. So
I appreciate it.
Think you will be following you pretty soon.
Awesome, man. Well, I look forward to that. I'll stay connected with her for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kyle. Thanks so much, brother. Everybody go make sure to check out GUDFELLA. He's on a fucking sick one and it's never going to stop. Love you, brother. Appreciate you and keep doing your thing. I can't wait to see you again soon.
Sherm in the booth.
My
Yes,
guy.
sir.
Have a good one, buddy. Hey, what's up? And thanks for watching that video. You looking for more content now? I got your back. Go to my YouTube channel right now, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you turn on all notifications so you never miss any upcoming exclusive artist interviews, Sherman the Booth clips, new music, live sets, and more. This is your one-stop shop for everything electronic music. Cheers.